Hello and welcome to another one of my declutter videos. This one, as you can probably already tell, is of my palettes. These are all of my eyeshadow palettes as well as my face palettes, so contour kits or blushes and highlighters all together. I think I've only got 3 of those, but anyways, so I am just gonna go through these. I kind of have an idea of some of the ones that I'm gonna be getting rid of. I don't have any goal in mind. Basically, it's just anything that I don't really like, that I don't feel inspiration from. So I do have some small palettes and some big ones, obviously quite a few of both of them. In fact, I counted and I have a total of 26 larger palettes and 16 smaller palettes. Some of the smaller palettes include like this little Pure Cosmetics, the Naked 2, this little Becca palette right here, and a few others over in that direction. And then of course my larger palettes, you know, like my Too Faced Chocolate Bar, Naked, Morphe, basically everything else. And then my 3 face palettes are over here. I have one from Becca, Kat Von D, and then my NARS. I guess without further ado, let's kind of get started with decluttering. Okay, so what I decided to do was start with the smaller palettes first and then move on to the bigger palettes. So these are all of my eyeshadow palettes, mostly with 4 or less eyeshadows. There's a few up here which have more than that. Like this one has got 5. Most of them have 3 or 4, but I digress. Okay, so let's get started. I guess, oh my gosh. Okay, let's start with some that I am pretty sure I'm going to be getting rid of. A lot of these Clinique these small Clinique ones, I'm not going to be holding on to. They're pretty good formula. I mean, they're not the best. They're definitely not my favorite by any means. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of color payoff. I never ever reach for these. So that includes these 2. This one right here that has broken, obviously, is going to go. And let's see. I've got this other one that's got a little ladybug on it. It's got these 2. It's a kind of a smoky little mini palette. These are all samples that you get sometimes. They do these things, I think a couple times a year, where you spend like $25 and get this little sample kit, and it always comes with a little eyeshadow palette. I never really use them, so I don't know why I keep doing that, but that's gonna go. I think my last Clinique one is this right here. Again, it just has a blush, a couple brushes, and these really pretty. This is like a purpley and then a pinky light ivory shade. I never use it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Let's see, moving on, I have this Ultimate Look Shadow Trio by Victoria's Secret. Right after I got this, I used this actually quite a bit, even though it might not look like it. It's just got this really nice kind of champagne color and then 2 bronzy colors. I mean, it's really not that good. I don't know why I used it so much, but I don't use it anymore, and it's not really that good, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Moving on to this Pure Cosmetics. This is in the shade Starry Eyed. This is what it looks like on the inside. I actually used this on my eyes today, and I really like the way the look came out, so I am gonna hold on to this, because I really liked it, and I'm really into purpley shades. Next, I've got my 2 Makeup Forever eyeshadow trios that I curated. I couldn't tell you what the shades are in these, but I do really like these. I do like the Makeup Forever formula, and I don't believe they're cruelty-free, so I won't be able to purchase any more of them, so I am gonna hold on to these because I do really like these. Let's see, let's move on to this Maybelline little quad right here. I actually got this from my cousin, I think for my birthday, and it's so cute, and the shadows in it are actually really pretty good. They're kind of right up my alley. I really like taupey shades like this one up here, and it's just got this really nice brown color, and it was just so sweet of her to do that, so I am gonna hold on to this. Let's see, moving on to my Naked 2 Urban Decay Basics palette. I'm definitely gonna hold on to this. I use this pretty often, especially if I just need a transition shade. I'll grab Frisk right here, and it's just a really great little palette to have in your collection for when you need just that pop of matte basic color in your crease or to darken up a little bit, so I'm definitely gonna hold on to this. Next, I have my Becca Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. A lot of people didn't really like this palette, but I don't think it's that bad. Maybe I got a good one. Maybe my shadow preferences just aren't as strict. I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I love Jaclyn Hill. I want to support her, and this brings me a lot of joy, so I'm gonna hold on to it. Okay, these last 3. Let's start with this one. This Runway Eyeshadow Glamour. This was like $5 at Ulta. Opening it up, this is what the shades look like. They're very rosy. It's not awful, but I don't love it, and I never reach for it, so I am gonna pass it along. Next, I have this little Pop Beauty eyeshadow trio. This is what it looks like. I think I got this in an Ipsy bag a while back. Let's see. I mean, they're pretty and probably really good for summer, but I will probably never ever reach for this, so I'm gonna pass this along. Last, I have this MAC eyeshadow quad, and you know, after trying Makeup Geek eyeshadows and ColourPop eyeshadows, I just don't love the formula of MAC eyeshadows. I mean, I love all the packaging, it's magnetic, it's really cute. This is in the quad, A Passionate Quest, and I was so excited when I got it. Let me just swatch some of these. It's just the color payoff is just not there. I mean, look at my fingers compared to the swatches. Oh, it's the other way around, but it's just not there for me. I feel like whenever I used it, I loved it, but I want to love the shade right here, and it looks so pretty on my finger, but just doesn't swatch. So, oh my god, I am gonna pass this along. Holy crap. So out of my smaller palettes, these are the ones I'm keeping right here, and these are all the ones I'm getting rid of, which, I mean, that's more than half of the smaller ones that I'm getting rid of, which I feel pretty good about. Okay, moving on to my face palettes. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not getting rid of any of these. This is my only full contour palette. This is the Shade and Light by Kat Von D. I'm sure that you all recognize it. I would say though that if you're just an everyday person, if you don't do makeup on other people, I would not suggest getting a contour palette. I only use like these 3 shades right here, so half the palette is going unused. Occasionally I'll use this one, but never these 2. They're just way too dark for me. I do love this shade right here as a contour shade. This one's okay as a bronzer. Keep it because I love it. It brings me a lot of joy and it works really well. This is my NARS palette by Stephen Klein. Well, in conjunction with Stephen Klein. The packaging is really cool. Opening it up, this is what it looks like. You get a bronzer, contour, highlight shade, and then 4 blushes. I use this frequently. I love it. I love the formulation of NARS blushes, and so I'm definitely holding on to this. And finally, my Jaclyn Hill face palette. Anyone who follows Jaclyn Hill probably got this when it released. Opening it up, so this is Champagne Pop, Prosecco Pop, and then the 3 blushes that she collaborated with. This is a beautiful palette, and I will always hold on to this because the formulation's beautiful. I love it, and the packaging is so cute, so I'm definitely keeping that. Okay, so moving on to all of my larger eyeshadow palettes. Total count, I believe, is 26. So again, I don't have a goal amount and how many I want to get rid of. I just want to pare it down to only the ones that I really enjoy, that give me inspiration, and I get use out of. I will forewarn you, I did use a few of these leading up to this video just to get a feel for what I think of them, so that plays in a little bit to some of my decisions today. Let's go ahead and just start out right here. This is the Go palette in Beijing by Coastal Scents. This came in a BoxyCharm a really long time ago. This is what it looks like when it arrived. This shade right here was actually broken. I think I might have used this once after I got it. The pigmentation isn't that great and I don't love it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Moving on again to the Blushed Nudes palette by Maybelline. I had really high hopes for this. This is what it looks like. It's supposed to kind of be a dupe for the Naked 3 palette, and some of the shades are really pretty when you swatch them with your finger, but on the eyes it does not translate very well. It does not show up very well, and I don't get good use out of it, so I'm gonna get rid of this one also. This right here is the Milani palette in the shade Earthly Elements. I actually really like this palette. The pigmentation is fantastic. The formula is great, and I love the color selection in this. If you're looking for a drugstore palette, I would definitely suggest these ones by Milani. And Milani is a cruelty-free brand, so woohoo! That's great. Many points for that in my book. Definitely gonna hold on to this one. Moving on to the Natural Eyes palette by Too Faced. This is one of the first palettes I ever purchased for myself, and obviously I've gotten quite a bit of use out of it. I love this palette. This is one of my favorites. Pretty much every shade in here I get good use out of. As you can see, the dents in those. This one in particular, Push Up, is one of my favorites, as is Day for an all over the lid shade, so holding on to that for sure. Let's move on to this one right here. This is by Pure Cosmetics. This is the Soul Mattes shade. Looking right here, you would think, oh yeah, these look really pretty, but opening up, they just don't translate the same. They're okay, but I get like zero inspiration from this palette, so I am gonna pass this along. Let's move on over here. This is a Tarte palette. This is the Rainforest After Dark. This was, I believe, limited edition a while ago, but I still think you can get it some places. This is what the inside looks like. You get a blush, highlighter, bronzer, this gold shade, a brown, dark brown, and then these pinky purpley shades right here. I actually really like this. I used these 3, the highlighter, bronzer, and blush the other day, and I loved the way it all turned out, so I actually am gonna keep hold of this, and it's really cute packaging. Moving on right here, this is the Manny MUA Makeup Geek palette. This is what it looks like. I dislike this shade greatly. It's just chalky. It doesn't work well at all for me, but the other shades in here I really, really like. I think they work really well. So I am going to hold on to this if you couldn't tell from my rambling. Okay, this palette right here. This is the Carly Bible BH Cosmetics palette. I got this for Christmas from my mom 2 Christmases ago, maybe 2015. This is what it looks like on the inside. I like these 3 shades right here, and I really like these 2 right here. I tried to see if I could depot these, and it obviously did not work very well. A massive fail. Some of these are okay, but I have other bronzy golden shades that I like more, and although this is a beautiful highlighter and I don't have a highlighter like this, I am going to get rid of it. I just don't use it enough, and I don't love it enough to keep a hold of it, which I thought I was going to keep it, but when I used it, it didn't do it for me. Oh, so I am going to get rid of this. Okay, let me move some things around a little bit. Okay, moving on to these little Morphe palettes right here. I actually am going to depot these. So this is what they look like. I have 2 of them. I have Coffee Toffee and I have Awesome Blossom. I didn't reach for these at all because I kind of forgot about them, but I think if I depot them and put them in a Z palette that I'll reach for them more often because some of these shades are really pretty. I did practice depotting this one right here, so I know that it works really well. Some of them I'm going to get rid of, but a lot of them I'm going to keep out of both of these, especially this one. These shades right here are really pretty, and so is this one right here. So I mean, I'm going to be keeping like probably 75% of each of these, but again, I'm holding on to them. Okay, not doing super great so far, and from the looks of the next few ones I'm going to pick up, it's still not going to be getting rid of very many. So this is the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It is gorgeous. I'm not going to spend much time on this one. I'm just going to say I'm keeping it. Same with the Master palette by Mario and Anastasia. Gorgeous, gorgeous shades. Perfect for so many different looks. I think Alex actually surprised me with this one day at work, and definitely holding on to this. Ooh, moving on to this matte palette. This is warm neutral inspiration from this palette. I don't find that the formula is very good on these matte. I did really want this one. This is Amber Lights, but I am gonna pass this along, and MAC is not cruelty free, so there's always that. So this is gonna go. Moving on to my Lorac Pro. I believe this is the Pro 2 palette. This is what it looks like in here. I've hit pan on a few of these. I don't love this, but I do love, like, from here over. I don't really use a lot of these shades over here. They're just not my favorite, but I am gonna hold on to it and try and hit pan on some of these, and eventually I'll get rid of it because I don't use, again, a lot of these shades over here, but I do really like some of these shades, so I'm gonna hold on to it and use it up. Okay, I did a little bit more shuffling. Okay, let's actually do these 2 palettes up here. These are by Tarte Cosmetics. They actually came in a big set a couple Christmases ago. I mean, they're not awful. This is what this one looks like. I actually taped the little flap that came with it on the other side so that I could match the shade name with the shade. And so that's what that one looks like. This is what this one looks like. The shades aren't awful, but I don't find I'm reaching for them ever. And so I'm going to pass these along, and hopefully someone else can get some use out of them before they get expired. Moving on to my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. Of course, I'm going to be keeping this. Alex actually got this for me, I think, not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before that. It smells like chocolate. It's iconic, and it seems like all makeup collection, so I'm definitely keeping it. Okay, my Naked palettes. We'll start with this one. This is the Naked 2 by Urban Decay. This is what it looks like. I've hit pan on teas. I really love this palette. I think I got it for Christmas from Alex's parents a few Christmases ago, so needless to say, definitely keeping it. The Naked 3. So I love this palette. I'm going to start out by saying it is rosy tones. Oop, there goes the brush. This will never ever leave my collection. My grandpa actually bought me this palette, and it was the last time I ever saw him. He came down for my graduation from Colorado, and we went to Ulta, and he threw out his wallet and bought this for me. And so not only do I love it, but it has such sentimental value to me that I will never get rid of it. On the other hand, the Naked Smoky. Alex actually bought this for me, and so I feel really bad saying it, but I don't like this palette. It's not great quality in my opinion. opinion, compared to the other Naked palettes. I don't do smoky eyes, and I don't love a lot of these shades. I think someone else that I know could get better use out of it. I mean, it's not awful, it's Urban Decay, but I don't ever use it. It doesn't give me inspiration. The packaging's beautiful, but I think someone else I know could get a lot better and more use out of it. So I'm gonna be passing it along. Okay, so I have 3 Morphe palettes and the revealed 3 palettes. Let's start with these. So for those of you who don't know, excuse my cat's foot right there. The revealed palettes are modeled after the Naked palettes. These are by Coastal Scents. This one, I believe, is modeled after the Naked 3. And I mean, these shades are great. And the formula is pretty good. I got these all actually in BoxyCharm boxes. Okay, my camera died, so I had to recharge it, and so it might look a little bit different. But anyways, again, I don't actually remember where I left off. So that was the revealed 2. This is the revealed 3. Kind of very similar. I think it's more modeled off of the Naked 2. And then the revealed Smoky, obviously modeled after the Smoky palette. Yeah, so I already have the Naked 3. I have the Naked 2. I have the Smoky. Well, not anymore because I'm getting rid of it. So I don't really need these, and I think that someone else could find a lot better use out of them. Like I said, they're pretty good quality. I don't really have any qualms with them. I just don't ever reach for them. I'd rather use my Naked palettes. So I am going to pass all 3 of these along. Okay, last but not least, my Morphe palettes. Just looking at them, I'm not sure which is which, so let's just pick this one up first. This is the 35F. Oh, perfect. This is actually my favorite out of the 3 that I have. This is what it looks like. Actually, let me get some more light in here. I don't know if that's any better, but this is very fall toned colors, from the name 35F, fall, F for fall. The formula on these is beautiful. It's got this row of mattes at the bottom, and then all of these are shimmers. These are all highlighty shades, and it's just absolutely stunning. I love this entire palette pretty much, except maybe some of the golds in here. I'm not a huge gold fan, but I am 100% keeping this one. Let's see, this is the 35P, P for plum, as you can tell. I got this for Christmas from Alex's parents. Not this last year, but I think the year before that. I think they've actually given me a palette each year. The first year they got me the Naked 2. Second year they got me this one. And then this year they got me the Tartelin and Bloom palette. I wanted this so bad, and some of the shades in here are really pretty. I just don't ever reach for it. I think maybe I've used it once. Let me look at the other one. So this is the 35O, and this is what it looks like. There's a lot of shades in here that I really like, and a lot of them that I don't. So what I think I'm gonna do, and maybe I'll do it with this one also, is I'm going to depot these. I've watched a couple of videos where people have done that. They kind of just take a razor blade, an X-Acto knife, and cut around each thing. You basically destroy the entire palette. But I don't use most of these shades, but there are quite a few over in this area and up here that I really love and would love to keep. And I did buy these, or I was gifted this one. I bought this one. So this one I'm definitely going to cut apart and depot and put into a Z palette and then give away the rest of it. This one, I just don't know what to do with this one. You know what? I'm gonna give this one away too. I don't ever use it. There's a lot of shades in here that the ones that I do like in here, I think I have in other palettes or as singles, and I would rather just give this whole palette to someone who would enjoy it. And yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this is everything I am keeping. I'm keeping 14 of my bigger palettes, 6 of my smaller palettes, and so I've kind of just lumped them all in here. But again, I'm depotting these 2 and one of my Morphe palettes. This is everything that I'm getting rid of. I'm getting rid of 9 of my smaller palettes and 12 of my bigger palettes. Actually, a couple more than I originally thought I was gonna be getting rid of. So that is very exciting. Hopefully these will find some good homes. A lot of them are perfectly good palettes. They're just, I don't reach for them, and they're just not my favorite out of all of the palettes that I have. I feel like I did pretty good. Not too bad. Almost half of my collection is gone, so not mad about it at all. Thank you so much for watching another one of my declutter videos. I'm very happy with it. If you want to catch up on my other ones, don't forget to check out my other declutter videos on my channel, and then I will have more up in the future. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye!